This is Read, and today I just want to have a chat about books. I read some great books in April, but I don't want to dedicate a whole video on a wrap-up because I don't know if it's interesting enough, because whenever I do a wrap-up I feel like I can't linger on each individual books as much as I want to. I just need to, give a summary and move on, and I don't really like that, so I'm just not gonna do one. One thing I want to talk about is how much I've been reading at the beginning of the year. I remember that last year I think I read 1 book in January, 3 books in March, and 0 books in April. Whereas this year I started with a bang. I've been reading more than usual, more than my best months last year. And it might be because I have been reading short books as I usually do, but I find myself getting into the habit of reading. I find myself, when I have a spare minute, I pick up a book, which is really weird for me because usually I need to be I need to have mental space, mental energy. And it might be a case that I just happen to have more mental energy. Because, for example, last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, but I didn't read anything. I was in the middle of reading a really nice book. I was in the middle of reading this. I finished it since then. But I had started it. I wanted to make a reading vlog about it, but then work got heavy. And I just stopped reading it. It's Elsewhere by Nagg. And I was really into it. So it wasn't a thing of, the book was kind of slacking or something. No. I was so into it, but I didn't have, the brain for it, the brain space for it. And so I for a whole week, I didn't read anything, even though I kept thinking, can't wait for the next time I'm able to pick it up. But then I ended up watching anime or scrolling on TikTok or literally looking out the window blankly instead of reading because my brain was so taken over by work. And it's something that I've noticed that the outside world really affects my reading. And I think it's probably like this for everybody. But then there are some people that no matter what happens, they will read. And then there are some people that no matter what happens, they won't read. They don't like reading and whatever. I stumbled on some videos about how to read more effectively, and I realized that nobody takes into account the fact that you just need to cut yourself some slack sometimes, especially if you are an adult and or you're in school and you're already reading a lot of other things. Sometimes your life is just not tailored to the hobby of reading, because unfortunately it's not one of those hobbies where it's easy to just focus on that and nothing else. It requires brain power. I don't understand I just shut my brain off when I'm reading. How if you're reading, that's a highly processing endeavor you're taking on. Maybe that's just me taking it literally. Maybe it means something else entirely. But when I'm brain tired, I cannot read. I cannot even listen to an audiobook. I cannot do anything because my or maybe it's just because I'm a visual person and I get a lot of information whilst reading. Whereas a lot of people maybe take a lot of information in when they're watching a movie or a TV show, and they need to do that when they have the brain power for it. This is a tangent. I'm rambling. But yeah, basically, I just wanted to have a chat about what I've been reading and my plans for, next week and whatever. Just a catch up. Because I haven't, again, I didn't want to do a wrap up. I didn't want to do a TBR, but I still want to share how my reading life is going. As I mentioned a week or so ago, a few days ago, I finished this, Elsewhere by Nagg, a collection of short stories. There's a lot of magical realism, there's a lot of historical fiction, there's a lot of reflection on writing and language. I love how this book talks about language. Like, this author jumped around a lot. This author is from Sichuan, China, but she traveled so much, and it's really reflected in her stories because a lot of them are set in, I don't know, Dublin, in Stockholm, in New York. It's not just, it's such a great flavor of diaspora. I've met people like this. Like, I've met Italians like this, that they're not immigrants in a specific place. They're just nomads. They're very nomadic. They jump around a lot. And maybe a lot of the people I've met tend to touch base in Italy a lot, but because this is a short story collection, not an autobiography, I have no idea where the author's home is, where she put roots in, and that's really nice, because sometimes I feel like that. I feel like I don't have roots anywhere, not even in Italy, for a bunch of reasons, my backstory. But yeah, it really feels like that untethered type of lived experience. And so this resonated so much with me. And again, how it spoke about language and what language means, I really, really loved it. Small review for As We Were Younger. But then after that, because I was still trying to recover from my hectic week at work, I just needed something really, really chill. So I picked up More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. And this book, I was really drawn to this book. One, because it's a really slow slice of life, the opposite of intense type of book. And also because it's a sequel, and I already read the first one, so I didn't even have to get familiar with the characters. I didn't have to figure stuff out. I already knew the place, I already knew the people. I was just accompanying them on their journey. And I feel like this is such a great book for when you want to escape, but you don't want to do anything crazy while you're escaping. I don't want adventure, I don't want romance, I don't want thriller, I don't want oh my god, what is happening, this world building is amazing. I just want to hear somebody's story, and I don't want that story to shatter my world. But I still want, it was very moving. It's a really moving book, that one and the first one, but it was a quiet one, which I really needed. And also, I don't know if you can tell, but here, I have my 3 books from the library. And the plan was, after Elsewhere, I would read one of these 3 books. But one day I was at the library reading More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, and I just happened on a display. It was a whole shelf of books about books and book selling. And I found this book, which is Once Upon a Tome by Oliver Darkshire, The Misadventures of a Rare Bookseller. and it's a non-fiction book about this bookshop, an antique bookshop in London, and about this young guy that gets an apprenticeship there. And because rare book selling is such a quirky environment, there is a lot of quirky characters and happenings, and I really like the the tone of the book. It's really tongue-in-cheek. It's really I thought, oh, this is a nerdy guy. When I was reading, this is a nerdy guy that plays D&D, and at the end of the book there's Bookshop the game, an RPG, and it's so cool. It's such a nice touch, and also it feels like, oh, you're one of my people. So I'm halfway through, but I started it yesterday evening, but I'm already halfway through because it really flows so nicely, and I'm really enjoying it. And I just found out, because it's a real place. I was like on social media watching the bookshop Instagram, and like apparently they were big on Twitter, but I don't know how to use Twitter anymore. And also I wanted to check out the author, and it turns out that he has a new cozy fantasy coming out, but it's called Isabella, Nagg, and the Pot of Basil, something like that, and it's based on the Cameron story Isabella and the Pot of Basil, which, I mean, the Cameron, I love it. It's really been rediscovered lately as a thing. But I studied it in school. It's a big thing in Italy. So like, whenever abroad I see stuff about the Cameron, I'm like, oh my god, that's from my country. Like, one of the few things I'm proud of as an Italian is the Cameron. And it's coming out in May, and now I want to pre-order it. But then I'm worried that it's gonna be a hardback, and it's definitely gonna be a hardback. But I want to support, and also it's through a small independent bookshop. I might pre-order it. I don't know. I just really don't like hardbacks. The only time I like hardbacks is when they're from the library and they have the shiny plastic thing. I don't know why. Maybe because it keeps the sleeve on it. I don't know. Because, for example, from the library I got this, but it doesn't have the shiny cover, and I already don't like it. So that's what I'm currently reading. I think I'll finish it today. Easy. It's really like smooth to read. So I'll finish this today, and then I need some tea for strength, because I need to choose what to read next. And I mean, this is my unread books shelf. It's not necessarily my TBR shelf. Well, no, technically it is my TBR shelf. I don't know. TBR always gives me the vibes of, oh, this is what I'll read next. But this is not what I'll read next. This is what I'll eventually read if I don't get rid of them. So my unread books are all here. And I also have these 3 books from the library that I need to read. Today is my day off, and I'm really happy about that. So I might go to the library, finish Once Upon a Tome, and then read Forest of Noise by Mosan Abu Toha. It's a poetry collection. It's very short, and yeah, I'm still, I feel my reading brain slowly coming back, but not being back. Because with poetry, and especially with poetry on the lived Palestinian experience, I want to give them more, like, I want to be able to appreciate it, but I want to be able to internalize internalize it. And so maybe I should wait a second more for my brain to go back online, because I don't want to not give it justice. Same thing with Things Fall Apart. I don't know. I think I'm in the mood for something. I'm still looking for something easy. I thought I had an answer for what am I going to read next. But now, apparently I don't. But you can come with me on this journey. There's this. Will Prescribe You a Cat by Sio Ishida. Which again might be on the same wavelength of More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. What You're Looking For Is in the Library. I don't know. The font is not really grabbing me. I could read a graphic novel, The Magic Fish. I've looked for that graphic novel for such a long time, and then I got it, and I was like, you go age on the shelf, and I'll pick you up in a second. Ooh, I should read Accabadora. Accabadora by Michela and Murgia. A friend of mine is reading it, or has read it now. I might read this. I really shouldn't. That's what I want to talk about. Oh, dang it. I just realized why I didn't have something actually planned for what I'm gonna read next. Is because I said, oh, I should read the library books first, and then my digital TBR is back to being out of control. I have over 150 books, which I don't like. I would like to at least be under 150 books. I wanted to focus on my digital TBR. But now I want to read this. You know what? Hopefully I will not die tomorrow, so I will have more time to read books. I will finish my Once Upon a Tome book. I will bring my Accabadora book with me to the library. I will bring these two to the library. Notice how I'm completely ignoring Beautiful World, Where Are You? First of all, what's the difference between all of these books and this one? This is bigger than the rest. And it you know, it's only 300 pages, but because it's that type of hardback, it looks bigger. But this is 300 pages. This is 200 pages. This is a poetry collection, so it's tinier. And this is 160 pages. Okay, I'm flagging. I need more tea. That's what I'll do. Definitely finish this one. I'll bring these with me at the library. I don't know, maybe I'll bring you with me to the library so you can see what happens next. But yes, finish this one, bring in these, but then I'll go to the library and see if any of the books from my digital TBR are there. And maybe I'll just binge read for a whole day and finish all 4 of these. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if we can finish these 4 books. If not, it's fine. It's fine. Nice. Okay, let's go. Let's go together.